one of the keys to what happened on 9/11 is what caused Building 7 of the World Trade Center to collapse. Many of you are going to go, Building 7, what was that? That was a 47-story steel and glass office building that just totally collapsed down into its own foundation about 5:20 on the afternoon of 9/11. It was not hit by airplanes, didn't have any devastating fires in it. It just collapsed down after the building owner, Larry Silverstein, said, well, I told the fire department to pull it, and they pulled it, and we stood there and watched the building come down.
And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
Well, industry slang, pulling it means controlled demolition. If Building 7 was brought down by controlled demolition, then why is it so preposterous to assume that perhaps the Trade Center towers were brought down by controlled demolition?
You hear that?
Keep your eye on that building. It'll be coming down soon. It'll be coming down soon.
What we know for sure is that these buildings were pre-wired for demolition, and that the plane hits were simply created as a distraction in the way a magician distracts you by showing you one thing while pulling something out of a hat while you're not looking. In the same way, they conditioned us to think that the demolitions were actually collapses caused by plane hits and fires, when we now know that they were not. Building 7, which is obviously a controlled demolition, the collapse of this 47-story building in 7 seconds, for no reason at all, a couple of small fires and a couple of little nicks on the side of the towers. That's a ridiculous story that anybody can see through. And then when you hear that the overinsured landlord of 6 weeks, Mr. Larry Silverstein, basically confessed to pulling it or taking it down in a controlled demolition on national television, no less. I mean, you really see that the whole thing is obviously an inside job. So I think Building 7 is sort of the first thing that we need to wave in the face of everybody who hasn't figured this out yet.